Good morning. It's 20-week scan day. I'm super excited. It's been like 7 weeks, 8 weeks? 8 weeks since we've seen him on any kind of ultrasound or anything. I mean, we've heard his heartbeat since then, but we haven't seen him in an ultrasound for a really long time, for us anyway, because we're so used to the infertility clinic that does it like every couple days. So it's been a long time. Been really waiting. Super excited. We'll get you an update. What's up, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I wanted to come and talk to you guys about our 20-week update. So most of you know that when you're pregnant on 20 weeks, you go to get an anatomy scan done. Basically, that means that they go in and check every little piece of the baby, every little bone, every little blood vessel to make sure that things are where they need to be, that they're growing properly, all of those sorts of things. This was an exciting one though because Tanisha was able to be on the phone for the ultrasound. Typically when they're doing the ultrasound, they don't allow any kind of FaceTime calls or anything like that. But because of COVID restrictions and the doctor being in the room this time, they did allow me to call her. So she was able to see him kind of wiggle around on the screen. It was really cute when she got a good shot of his face. He had his little hand up and kind of did a little wave. It was really cute. So today we got a really good look at him. We got to see all of his little pieces, parts, make sure that everything was where it needed to be. And he did awesome. He definitely is a he. We confirmed that today. We had done a sneak peek test, which is a blood test, a couple weeks back, and we did a gender reveal and everything. So we were pretty sure, those tests are 99.9% accurate. So we were pretty confident anyway, but he was not shy about confirming that for us this afternoon. Which is funny because I had to go in, we had a scare happen and I had to have a scan done about 14 and a half weeks. And at that point, they tried to see if they could confirm the gender. And he was sitting completely crossed, all covered up, no one's getting a look at anything. And then today he was just like, hey world, how's it going? So thank you, Nugget, for that. Appreciate it. We've been calling him Nugget because we're not sharing the name until he's born. So everybody in the family keeps guessing at what his name's going to be. They know that it's going to be LLC for his initials. So everybody keeps guessing the most off the wall things. And nobody has come even a little bit close to what his name is. Aside from that, though, everything looked really good. She was able to get a really good look at him. Turns out he's sitting feet up to my right ribs and head down towards my left hip. So he's kind of diagonal across everything right now, which explains why I've been getting kicked right in the ribs over here. So once she checked all of his little pieces, his brain, his kidneys, his liver, all of the things, making sure that everything was there, they needed to do a fetal heart check. Because we are IVF, for some reason, I'm not really sure of what it is. I haven't done a whole lot of research into it. I've just been told by all of my physicians going through this process that because I did IVF, that they would have to check his heart. For some reason, IVF increases the risk of fetal heart deformities, so they always want to make sure that things are looking really good in his heart. They were a little nervous that they weren't going to be able to get what they needed because he was facing down towards my spine, so his chest was kind of hidden, but they were able to get a good enough look at it, measure the blood flow to all of the different areas, and everything looked great. All of my scans thus far have shown that my placenta is extremely low-lying, which is something called placenta previa. Basically, it's across the entire bottom of my uterus right now, across the top of the cervix. This is something that's not super uncommon, one, in people that have done reproductive technology of some sort, and two, in those with endometriosis. So, double header for me. Again, I don't really know why. My best guess, and this is just my opinion, my best guess is that because your embryo is coming in from the bottom with IVF and not down through the fallopian tubes, maybe things implant down lower. I don't know. That's just what my brain does to make sense of it. So for right now, I have to be very careful about how much I'm lifting, how much I'm doing. I have to take it pretty easy. Can't go on like super long runs or walks or anything like that. I'm definitely doing what I can to try to stay active within those limitations, just because I want to be sure that, we both stay healthy, but I do have to be careful about doing too much. So because of that, obviously, if the placenta is still over the cervix, it's not a situation where you can push the baby out like you normally would, because there's a placenta in the way. So for right now, we are on track for a C-section. They're going to check it a couple of more times between now and then to see if it migrates at all. There is a slight chance that it could, but at 20 weeks, if it's still sitting where it is now, it's completely over my cervix. So the chances of it moving far enough away beyond even like close to the cervix is not looking too good. I'm not super excited about the idea of having to do a C-section. I really wanted to be able to do it a little bit more naturally, but with everything that we've been through, if this is what gets us healthy and gets everybody here healthy, then that's what we have to do. Might just turn out that he's a little planner like me and wants to set himself up a schedule for exactly when he's going to get here. So if anybody out there watching this either previously had or currently has placenta previa, I would love to hear your experiences in the comments. It's just something that I'd like to hear firsthand experiences if you have them. I texted my wife after the appointment and said, heads up, might be a little sooner than you were thinking. So just be prepared in any case. As far as prep goes, though, we're in a pretty good spot. We've got a good amount of clothes. We have a registry all done. So I'm not super stressed about it. Our shower is scheduled for about a month and a half before the due date, so we'll have plenty of time to get everything set and ready to go. I've had the car seat set up for weeks. Which is not easy, by the way. Like, I had to learn how to launch a rocket to put this car seat in the back. I'm thinking like, okay, cool, let me just go do this real quick. And then I opened there were straps in there somewhere that I couldn't get to for 45 minutes. Finally found them, but they were all tucked in the middle in this little trap door that you had to find. And you had to feed it dragon's blood to get them to come out. Then you're checking the little level thing on the side and it doesn't want to do what it needs to do. And then you got to move the car and then you got to get back in. It's a whole thing. Still got it done all by myself though. Thank you very much. So just some fun update stuff. I am definitely craving pepperoni pizza at this point. Couldn't tell you why. And not a thick pan pizza. No, a thin, fold it in half, grease dripping off your elbow type of straight off the streets of New York pizza is what I need. The kind that you put a paper towel on and soak up all the stuff off of first. Yeah, that's the kind that I want. As far as symptoms at this point go, everything's pretty much staying the same. One new thing that I have had happen, like I said, he's kind of kicking me in the ribs up here, so that's probably not helping. But I get sort of a numb spot over here at the bottom of my ribs. So I was asking them about that today just to make sure that everything was fine. And the doctor explained to me that those bottom two ribs aren't really connected to the middle, so they're kind of free floating towards the front, and they don't have a whole lot of feeling other than that sort of nerve ending, electrical sort of feeling. So if your uterus or, the baby's feet or whatever start pushing on those ribs, sometimes it can cause either a shooting pain or sort of an electric shock sort of feeling. If something falls asleep and it wakes back up and you get that tingly feeling like that, or I'm having sort of a numb spot. So he did suggest one of these support belts that has the piece that goes over the top of your belly. That way, he said it kind of pulls your uterus down just a little bit to try to keep it away from your ribs. Other than that, things are moving along pretty much the same. I've had a little bit more heartburn, but nothing crazy. Well, I won't say nothing crazy because it doesn't happen very often, but when it does happen, whoo, I can't lay down for 2 days. Not comfortably anyway. I'm not sure if I mentioned this before, but we did use an African-American donor, so we are having a little biracial boy. So he's probably growing a lot of curly hair, probably will continue to do so. So that's probably not too good for me in the aspects of heartburn. The office that I go to for these scans actually texts you all of the pictures instead of giving you that long printout of paper, which I think is pretty cool. But I'll try to enter some of them here. Next week, I think I'm going to back up just a little bit and kind of cover some of the ways that I got through the progesterone shots. If you're currently doing them, I'm sorry. But this week I wanted to go with what was happening in the moment, which today was our scan, so I figured I would go ahead and update everybody on that before we step backwards. So if you are in the middle of an IVF cycle, be sure to check back next week, maybe even subscribe to the channel. You could put on the notifications, that way you don't miss it. But I'm going to talk about the ways that I got through the progesterone injections and ways that I made it just a little bit less painful. I'm definitely posting a lot of bump update pictures and ultrasound images, all of those sorts of things over on my Instagram. I'll tag that down below. Over there, you can definitely find more about me and my wife and my family and what our everyday life is like. Other than that, that is all I have for this week. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye. Stop. You can't be in the video.